Well, every once in a while, we forget to hit the record button. So that's what happened on this episode. So we apologize for the delay, but we had to get the audio from the video live stream. So the audio quality will not be as usual, the crisp sound that you're used to, but it's not the worst sound quality. So hopefully you can get through it. Thank you guys for your patience. And we appreciate all the producers out there who help produce the show. Enjoy the episode and God bless.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonzo as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy.
You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is October 19th. 2020. This is episode 257, and today, Build Back Better, or 6ETTER. Sorry. Anyways, you know me. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And this is Gonz. Welcome to the podcast where we love Jesus. Not even though we're not high enough to see Jesus. We love Jesus. We love you. We love it'll make sense for people that listen all the way to the end.
I know that.
I know, but you don't have to get on my case.
Well, it's fun.
Yeah. Well, we love Jesus. We love you. We love ourselves. What? Stop talking. I'm trying to do the intro. I've only been doing this for several hundred episodes. Thought you'd figure it out by now. But, I was surprised to see like 10 people on Periscope watching us, but now it's down to 5. So thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Periscope.
Yeah, well, it's one of those issues where people jump on and then they realize Googly Eye Man is there and then they click off.
It's a good filter.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're in it now. Any new news? It's a new week, Gonz.
Yeah.
It's a busy week for me. What's going on with you?
Apparently, I don't have to get tested to be in the hospital now. I was really excited to hear that. All I have to do is wear a mask and I can't leave the room. So once they let me in, I can't go anywhere. But
so you're stuck.
I'm stuck.
You have to witness it all.
Well, that's fine. That's what I want. But yeah, no test needed, which is nice. And it's been pretty much 2 weeks since quote unquote contact. And nothing to really.
No symptoms.
Yeah, no symptoms. So I'm good. I think I have the strength internally with my body. My temple is strong enough to withstand this virus thing, the scandemic.
It's almost as if your body, like a Marvel superhero, has the ability to defend itself against foreign invaders.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah,
imagine
like
that.
The immune system is strong or something.
That's crazy. It's like your superpower.
Works much better than masks and the vaccine. I'll say that.
So far.
Far.
We know of, Gonz, you won't get a spine infection from your own immune system, so that's good.
Yeah, I won't be getting an unknown disease or whatever it was that stopped the whole Johnson & Johnson Johansson
Johnson and Janssens.
Yeah. Anyway, what about you? You got anything going on before we jump in here?
Oh, just the same stuff. Busy. I got a cat running around the office right now, so we'll see. They'll probably make an appearance. We'll see if that happens. That'll be fun. I'm really excited. We got some great art coming in for the show today. We got some great stories. And of course, though, when things are great, we have a hard time limit. So we're going to need to get out of here by 4 Pacific Standard Time, people.
Yeah, that's
so
quick.
Pay attention. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. And just real quick, again, we're very lucky not to be swept up in the cancellation and the deletion of YouTube channels. And I do want to mention, I think I confused the algos, and I knew exactly what I was doing here. A few years ago, I published a video titled, "Is Donald Trump the Antichrist?" It's got 444. I don't know if I like that number. 444,000 views right now. And it was published back on December 2nd, 2016. But it's videos like this. I remember when I titled it, I'm like, yeah, this is going to confuse the algos because they're not going to be sure if I'm like pro-Trump or anti-Trump or what am I doing here?
Because they're like, oh, they said Antichrist. They're a religious nut. Oh, but they're saying Trump's the Antichrist. Yeah. So wait, maybe we don't want to delete it.
Yeah. See, algos. I'm like giving them what they want, but then poison pilling them.
Mind controlling the algorithms, folks.
That's right.
That's what we're good at here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we should just jump right into it, huh?
Let's do it.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Okie dokie, folks. It's the Flippy update. And if this is your first time watching or listening to the show, let me catch you up. Flippy is the colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a conversation to talk about just generally how robots and artificial intelligence are taking over the world, and there's nothing we can do about it. Although, Gonz, I don't know if you checked out my Twitter recently. I spent some time looking at how to build EMP devices.
I did see that.
There's some great DIY EMP devices that can be built quite cheap. But I posted a video on my Twitter, Basil_Rosewater. Follow me, folks. Because
was it the Tesla coil gun?
Yes, it is a what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Handheld. It's a handheld Tesla coil gun. And it's kind of connected to a backpack for power. And it is really cool. I don't know. That's a little bit extreme. That one might be a little expensive. But don't worry. When the robots come a-knocking, the EMPs will start a-rocking. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we are grabbing a story from robotics.news. And the headline is titled, Japanese Convenience Stores Using VR-Controlled Robots to Restock Shelves. Yeah. That's right. This kind of is all wrapped up in sort of our virtual reality exploration as well as the new economic model of nobody having to leave their house, even to go work at a convenience store. That's right. Here we go. 2 Japanese convenience stores have adopted a 7-foot-tall robot to restock store shelves. The robot, controlled remotely using virtual reality, addressed concerns over social distancing for human employees in the workplace and Japan's impending critical labor shortage. Japanese robotics company Telexistence. Telexistence is responsible.
Before you go on, in Japan, when they talk about like online or mobile or remote, they just call it tele.
Yes.
Like teleport.
Yes. Yeah. So we've got remote existence, Gonz. Japanese robotics company Telexistence is responsible. Not only did they create and manufacture it, but they're responsible for the robotic stock clerk dubbed Model T after Henry Ford's famous automobile. The 7-foot Model T possesses a wide range of motion necessary for lifting and moving products around. It is connected to a human operator remotely, manipulating the robot using VR with a lag time of only 50 milliseconds between the robot and the human controller. Convenience store chain Family Mart has partnered with Telexistence to deploy the Model T robot for replenishing shelves. The company expressed its intent to create, quote, a completely new store operation by making restocking work automated and remote, saving a huge chunk of working time as a result. Quote, by introducing Model T into stores, Family Mart store staff will be able to work in multiple stores from a remote location, which will help solve challenges around labor shortage and help create new job opportunities, the company said in a statement. It also added that adoption of Model T will lead to the reduction of human-to-human contact. Oh, please reduce the human-to-human contact to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Sorry, I got cat hair in my mouth again. In Family Mart's pilot program, an operator logs into a VR terminal from Teleexistence office and remotely operates a Model T installed at a store 5 miles away. The robot will restock plastic beverages at the back of the store, which largely comprises the workload in convenience stores. For the meantime, Model T will then move on to handle other popular food items such as rice balls, sandwiches, lunch meal boxes, once its speed and accuracy are verified. The company hopes to deploy Model T in up to 20 stores by 2022, with the end goal of putting one in every store location. Family Mart is no stranger to automation. Prior to its adoption of Model T, it tested its self-checkout systems in 2006, way before the concept became ubiquitous in the West. And that's how it works, folks. It starts in Japan, all of these technological advances, and then a few years later, it becomes the new normal. Of course, if you visited a Walmart or really, well, pretty much every large retailer now has self-checkout. And we've been talking about for years now, at least 2 or 3 years, the movement towards teleexistence, I guess, where VR can be used to control factory working robots and things like that, where it's not quite automation. You're not relying on AI and just an autonomous robot to do the work, but you have people sitting at home with their VR set on, going to work at the bread factory. And this has all sorts of implications when it comes to sort of the lifespan of working, where, usually you try to retire by whatever, 55, 60, 65, 70 in some cases. You're trying to retire. Well, if you can work from your hospital bed with just a VR helmet on and go restock an entire convenience store, then you can keep human beings working forever. Because that's what we're brainwashed into thinking all we're good for. So here we go. This is really the first broad commercial use of this remotely controlled working environment. And again, this isn't just working from home, on some sort of desk job or, everybody on customer service lines are all working from home now. I mean, you are controlling a 7-foot robot doing, real labor. And in this case, in the case of this convenience store, I mean, really, you just need like maybe 1 or 2 guys and or girls to just log in and go from store to store. You stock the shelves in one store, log out of that robot, log into the next store, stock that store, log out there, log in the next one. You really could have one stock boy for 20 stores, and he'll get really good at those robots. So I think, it's still kind of a depressing idea that they're trying to keep us working for our entire lives, even if we're in the hospital or in some sort of convalescence. On the other hand, if you're a stock boy who's really good at controlling these robots and you're, stocking, you're working 20 robots a day, you probably get a little pay bump. There's some room in the budget to pay this one stock boy a little bit more than he might have been before. But like I said, we've been talking about this concept for years, and here we go. First step to making it a reality, folks. And of course, Gonz, it's coming from your homeland.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I can picture. Here's a couple of things that come to mind. One, the Japanese culture, pretty ruthless on work, right? They're like workaholics over there. So what's going to happen is, let's say you have this guy, he's really good at the VR thing. And then he calls in Monday. He's like, "Oh, boss, I got in an accident and I'm paralyzed." And the boss is going to be like, "Get back to work."
Yeah,
right? Pretty much.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of a weird back and forth because, if you hurt yourself on the job, well, first of all, I think people who have done this kind of labor are not going to complain too much because it can really be backbreaking type stuff. I mean,
sure.
You're lifting cases of, Coca-Cola all day.
Balls.
It's not light.
Picking up those rice balls, man. Really laborious activity.
But yeah, first of all, it's going to cut down on worker incidents. I mean, you just think of the economics of this. You can hire one robot controller instead of 20 stock boys. The robot controller is not going to have to activate some sort of insurance policy if they hurt themselves. No workers' comp needed. And there you go. And with these millennials, Gons, these millennials and their video games. The stock boy is no longer having to get a real job. He's basically just playing a convenience store stock boy video game all day long.
Well, the other thing is if the robot messes up, and you drop something, is the boss going to yell at the robot?
Blame it on the bot, man.
Yeah. Everyone's going to blame the bot. This is moving towards person of the robot. At least
for a while. You'll be able to pull this off for a while. Right. While it's still kind of new technology and, training is still new. Stockboy destroying a couple pallets of bottles of soda is going to be able to get away with blaming the robot for a little bit.
This is the beginning of a really bad science fiction film. You got one of these worker robots becomes sentient or has a crush on a worker robot, and then they take down the warehouse.
Ooh, yeah. You know what? A strike where people will log into their robots, their working robots, and they could really cause some damage with those suckers.
Or just a hack, if let's say there's 100,000 of these robots all working around Japan, and somebody decides to hive mind them and hack into them. And then, you're like, hey, get back to work. And, they turn around and they go,
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
And that's the movie. It's there.
Well, even outside of the hive mind idea, this really does cause a strange, speaking from the perspective of maybe the convenience store owner, it does create kind of a strange separation between you and the employee. Because who do you yell at? Yeah. If you yell at they could just mute you or something from their VR headset,
Or if the robot, if you control the robot to hit back on the boss, But I would imagine owner. Or
some serious violence with a 7-foot robot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But I would imagine the owner would be the first to be behind the VR headset, and he'd be like the big daddy robot, making sure everyone's doing their job.
Big daddy robot.
He wouldn't walk in there all human, and 5'3".
He would control the rail-mounted, ceiling-mounted slave driver robot that would just swoop down.
Yeah. It'll come down from the ceiling. You are not complying, and then robot war.
Yeah, and then the employee is like, why are you talking like that? You're a human. You're just controlling a robot. It's going to your head, man.
It's all happening.
Anyways, there you go. That's the update. Actually, for those who've been following the Flippy update for a few years, this is a pretty big leap in the progress that we've been seeing. This is not just a fun show, Guns. Not just a beacon of light in a dark world of lies. It's almost like a historical archive of the progress of this type of thing. I don't know if anybody else is really keeping such a close eye on this in future, as our British listeners would say. There could be historians dissecting episodes of this show, following how exactly did the robot revolution begin.
Right. Well, yeah, it's the job of the watchman, right? We're all kind of on a watchtower. We can see further out, and we're sort of reporting on what we see on the horizon. It's kind of what we've been doing for a while. Yeah. But, it's funny, too, because as you mentioned, Japan, they're just like, flipping burgers, please. Let's have them pick up rice balls. Let's just get straight to the heart of the situation here.
Step it up.
All right. We got a bunch of updates to get through here. Are you ready?
Yeah, I do want to say real quick, if you're watching on YouTube, wherever you're watching, press the like button, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe. Again, we're trying to mind control the algorithms to share the show out. And we just went through a whole algorithm training course and how we can keep getting the word out. So press like, press subscribe, share it out, share it on your social. Now's the time. Share it now so people can watch it live. Have you not watched YouTubers recently? You don't hit the like button. You smash it. Oh, smash. You I don't really do a whole lot of YouTube. Destroy it. There's all kinds of other language being used for that. I just watch YouTube if I need a quick lesson on how to drive a forklift or something. Yeah, it is a very handy tool with all the how-tos. But all right, here we go. It's utility. It's utility, not entertainment. Yeah, and soon you'll just be able to download it straight to your brain. Googly eyes. That's right. All right, here we go.
We interrupt this broadcast to give you a brief update. By the end of this timely interruption, you will be thoroughly updated.
33 is the number of completion of the Great War.
33 is the Illuminati dog whistle. We see it being used in all kinds of stories, including today's couple of them today. ADN.com. This is Anchorage Daily News. 33 inmates at Fairbanks Correctional Center test positive for COVID-19. What's up with these correctional centers and like jails always having 33 people test positive? This is like the third time we've seen it. Yeah, I know. They just keep reporting right when they hit 33, and it is a lot of prisons and jails and stuff. It's crazy. Very bizarre. And it's interesting how 32 men and 1 woman was the total count of 33 at this correctional facility. What is this woman doing in this facility? It's either a guard. Yeah, it has to be a guard, or maybe it's a trans person, and they are dead naming her or whatever. Gotta identify them with their right gender pronouns. Who knows? That's a good point. That is interesting. Or okay, so there's one update. Here's another one. This is hey guy. What's up, guy? This is StabroicNews.com. Trinidad seeking vaccines for 33% of population. And it says here, it's interesting. The first sentence of the story: Trinidad and Tobago will receive COVID-19 vaccines for 20% of its population in the first instance after its development. And it's like, well, you just said 33. Why are you talking about 20? You go down a little further, and there's a quote from the guy here. He says, what does that mean for Trinidad and Tobago? 20% of our population is 280,000. In the first chance of the vaccination drive, we will be getting vaccines to vaccinate 280,000 citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. After that, in the second wave of the vaccination drive, they have a second wave of vaccines, Basil. Cabinet has signed on with COVAX to purchase vaccines for 33% of the population. 33% is 462,000. So after we get out first 280,000, we will then get another 182,000 to vaccinate 33% of the population. That is how COVAX facility works. I like how detailed he is, and how he shows all the math of how he gets to 33% there. It's very bizarre how he's bringing me back to math class. Not good enough just to have the correct answer. You got to show your work. Show your work. Exactly. So there you go. Trinidad people, look out. 33% Trinidad. Of you. Isn't that the Bahamas or something? I'm not 100%. I want to say it's in the Bahamas, but I could be wrong. Okay. Someone in the chat's going to fix us on that one if it's wrong. But let's move on to the next story.
Did you ever have the feeling that you were being watched?
This is one of the most ridiculous stories we have today. This is wired.co.uk. Worried Alexa is spying on you? Edward Snowden's head can help. What? Oh, yeah. Look at that. This is a spitting image of Edward Snowden. The hardest thing about creating a scale model of, Edward Snowden's head is getting the glasses right. This is echo chamber of life-size replica of the NSA whistleblower's head with a copper cylinder hidden inside. It's designed to sit over a home voice assistant, such as Amazon Echo or Google Home, and block it from hearing you and connecting to the internet. Here's my thing. Why not just not have one of those devices in your house? Why do you have
What is the head? I don't get it. Is that
it's a piece of...
It's an Alexa cover?
Yes, it's a cover to keep you. It's okay. It's designed to sit over a home voice assistant, such as an Amazon Echo or Google Home, and block it from hearing you and connecting to the internet.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just not have it?
That's my point. That's exactly my point. It's like, okay, hey, I don't want people spying on me. So let me get this life-size spitting image of Edward Snowden's head to cover the device.
Yeah, that's very funny. Yeah, that's weird. You'd think if somebody is, I feel like the core demographic of this product wouldn't have an Alexa in the first place.
Yeah,
but
they're really.
What do I know?
This is really a bad research being done here.
It's pretty funny. I would get one if I had an Alexa, but of course I don't because I'm a sane human being.
Yeah, but then, okay, imagine if you're an Alexa user. I am not, but I've been into some homes and I've been like, I don't know about you people. But imagine, you're like, hey, Alexa, who won the game last night? Ah, shoot. Hold on. Let me move this Snowden head.
Let me move this decapitated whistleblower.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like more work for you. I mean, the whole point of having one of those things for people, other than the spying from the consumer end, is for convenience, right? That you don't have to like pull out your phone or go to a computer and sit at Google. You can just ask this spy device all your questions. Well, what's the point if Edward Snowden is blocking it?
It's pretty funny. It's a funny product.
Maybe this might be
I hope they sell some.
It might be a good gift for like your normie friends, and be like, hey,
yes, that's what it is.
It's got to be that's got to be the demographic.
You give it to somebody to make a point. Before we move on, I did want to just mention we have gotten the notification about Biden's text number, and people keep sending it to us, so I just want to mention it real quick. The number that you text to like get on Biden's mailing list or whatever it is, donate or something, the number is 30330 in case anybody here wants to donate to Biden. But yes, it is strangely 2020 divided by 666 is this 30330. There's a decimal point in there somewhere. Yeah. But yeah, it is pretty weird whether or not it's on purpose. It's very specific. It's a really specific number for it to have not been on purpose. And I mean, the thing with the Antichrist spotters is really 666 just has to be related to the Antichrist in some way. There's nothing specific exactly about how
it says the number of his name. So people have, a lot of the historicists will, say it was one of the popes back during the Reformation period and stuff. So yeah, the number of his name, whatever, you can use that with different lettering and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it just seems to pop up a lot in a lot of different things recently, and it's got to be
feels like a troll.
It's like a troll job, but also like a spiritual thing. Maybe even if people didn't like purposely do it, it could be something like that. But also, the other thing that's funny is, didn't Biden mess it up? He was like, call 330. He like messed it up a while ago.
I think this was back. I think it was before this number, but yeah.
I think it was that number.
He's like, email, call 303. You know what it is.
You know the thing. I have hairy legs. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Continue.
Very good. So yes, being watched. If you have some normie friends who have an Alexa or a Google Home or something, make a point, get a Snowden head to put on there, but make sure you stick a Canary Cry News Talk tag on his forehead or something like that, so they know, where to go with that. Okay, next up.
Called it.
I called this, Basil, at the beginning of the whole wear mask and, bubbles and all that kind of stuff. I was saying that Bubble Boy was just a snippet of our future, documentary, so to speak. This is dailymail.co.uk. The future of concerts. Members of the Flaming Lips and fans rock out inside plastic bubbles during bizarre socially distanced show. And I'll just read the bullet points here. Footage from the performance shows people inside 100 inflatable orbs. The event in Oklahoma City Monday was said to be a test run for future concerts. Frontman Wayne Coyne shared a clip from the show and the deflated bubbles. Quote, "That barrier is still there. They're protected and you're protected. That's part of it. That part of it is what we really felt like was a success." And there's a photo here of
great success
of just I don't know. It looks like a bunch of slaves inside, little cell balls or something.
Kind of looks. Oh, I wonder, could they move around like Bubble Boy? Kind of looks
bit.
that way, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
That would be fun to just, if you're in there, just full on haul into the crowd in your bubble, start bubbling people around. It's like a mosh pit.
It is a mosh pit.
A safe mosh pit.
I guess, but it looks so ridiculous.
It is pretty ridiculous.
It reminds me
I don't know. It would be fun. I don't like the new normal aspect of it, but I'd roll around in there. I could see it's a Flaming Lips concert. People are imbibing all sorts of things. I'm sure one guy hotboxed his little bubble there and missed the rest of the show.
Or like if you have a knife or something, you're like, oh, because I think there's a picture of the one picture I'm looking at now. There's a guy on the far right. Looks like his bubble's a little deflated.
That would be actually terrifying if your bubble deflated and now you're just trapped in a plastic trash bag. Ooh, yikes.
What's that movie? Oh man, I'm totally forgetting the movie now. Where the bassist is trying to come out of the it's like an egg-shaped thing. He can't get out.
You thinking of Spinal Tap?
Spinal Tap. Thank you. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't remember that part, but I'm just it sounds like a Spinal Tap thing.
Yeah. The bassist, they're inside these these eggs or whatever, and they're supposed to come out of the eggs, but the bassist can't get out. Like the whole song, he can't get out of it. And then he finally gets out, and then as soon as he gets out, he has to go back in because they all return to the bubble. But this just reminds me of that. I mean, there's, again, all the satire and all the stuff we used to make fun of and joke around. It's all becoming real.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like it.
The simulation is glitching.
It's glitching for sure. Okay, we always talk about all the negativity going on with all the stuff, but this one, depending on how you look at it, somewhat positive, I would say.
Assimilate this.
This is a story from Bloomberg.com. Thai protesters ignore crackdown to rally for fifth day. And this is people in Thailand, thousands of protesters calling for the resignation of Prime Minister Prayuth Chan-o-cha's government and reform of the monarchy, filled a busy traffic intersection in Thailand's capital city on Sunday, ignoring a ban on gatherings and threat of crackdowns by the police. And demonstrators braved rain to gather around Victory Monument. If you look at the Victory Monument, Basil, what does it look like? Do you see it on the screen there?
Oh, sorry, I'm not on the thing. Okay. Wait. An obelisk.
It's an obelisk. Yep, of
Classic.
course. So the fact that they're protesting it, good job, Thailand. But also, if you scroll down, if you keep scrolling, there's more pertaining to our particular situation here. There's a big statue, or I don't know, like a thing of a T-Rex, and people gathered around. This is like your kind of people, Basil. Maybe you should go to Thailand and speak through the dinosaur or something.
I'm Googling something to make sure I know something before I say it. Ooh, big T-Rex. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I want it to be a robot that I can control, though.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, good job, Thailand people, ignoring the whole, I'm sure they're going to get the Thailand, big spike in COVID-19, all that kind of stuff. But at least they're pushing back.
Before we move on from the Thailand topic, yes, this is him. Okay, so I just read a thing a couple of days ago. I found it here. Los Angeles Times. The world's richest king, his mysterious fortune, and Thailand's protesters who want answers. So Thailand's king is actually the richest king in the world. I think he's the richest man. Because he recently, when he just took over from his father, so the way they're set up is they have a monarchy, and all the monarchy's personal wealth was managed by, it was in some sort of corporate entity. It was like they managed the royal wealth for the royal family. When he became king, he canceled that program. He took all of the wealth out of the corporate setup and just put it all into his personal bank account. And it's something nuts. It's like $300 billion or more. I forget exactly what it is, but this is part of what's going on in Thailand. Is the king basically said, okay, I'm king now. And, the way we have set up our monarchy that at least has some transparency to keep track on what the king is doing. He just destroyed it all and put all of the royal money into his personal bank account. He doesn't even live in Thailand anymore. He lives in Germany. He just bailed.
Germany. Tell him, keep an eye on Germany.
I know, man. He took he took like the majority of the nation's wealth, put it in his own bank account, and ran to Germany and just rules Thailand from Germany. It's a really crazy story, but that's part of why all these protesters are protesting, because they're like, this guy is out of control.
It looks like it's 70 billion, and he's the richest monarch. So,
is that what it is? Yeah, not the richest man. He's the richest monarch.
Yeah, richest monarch. So, I mean, still pretty rich, but yeah. I mean, there you go. It's good for the people of Thailand to at least step up and do it in a peaceful way. I don't think they're getting violent over there, but
well, how else are you going to take down a monarch who lives in Germany?
This is where the robot war is going to start, because the monarch is just going to unleash like VR robots over in Thailand.
Dude, he probably already rules that way. He's probably got a little PlayStation controller there, and he can just control the police and the drones and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Funky story. If you're looking for an interesting thing to learn about today, after the show, Google Thailand's king. Very weird thing going on over there.
Yeah. Interesting.
All right.
Okay. One more quick update here.
You don't know what you're looking at.
What's driving that thing? It's not a space alien.
Aliens. It's unidentified.
Or an asteroid. FoxNews.com. Asteroid could strike Earth day prior to election. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson says.
Aliens.
Oh, well, if he says it.
Must be true. Space rock the size of a refrigerator traveling at 25,000 miles per hour won't cause serious damage, scientist says.
Okay.
I like this. I like this article here. That's one way to rock the vote. Hey. An asteroid with a diameter the size of a refrigerator could strike the Earth the day before the November election, according to celebrity scientist Neil deGrasse Tyson. But it's not
embarrassing.
It is. It's kind of decredibilizing.
What an embarrassing way to be described. If I was Neil deGrasse Tyson, that would be an insult. But problem is, he's probably stoked on it, and that's wrong. That's what's wrong.
Yeah, but it's not large enough to do any serious damage. It's just
a little baby asteroid, little refrigerator baby asteroid.
Yeah. It's not big enough to cause harm, blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. Well, world's going to end, folks, the day before the election.
We'll see where this refrigerator lands before the election.
Yeah.
Should we take bets? Should we make predictions on where that refrigerator is going to land?
I'm sure if they know where it is, they kind of have an idea of where it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to guess ocean. That's my prediction.
That's a pretty safe guess.
Okay.
Pretty safe guess. I'm going to say Australia.
Oh, they have enough problems, man.
Just sounds like something would happen in Australia.
Poor Australia.
Sorry, Australian listeners. I was just chatting with one of our Australian listeners right before the show.
Yeah. Okay. Those are the quick updates. Are you ready to go for one of our stories
ready.
here? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
We are in deep fake.
We're in deep fake, people. All right, this is kind of another called it, but let's get into it before we pat ourselves too hard on the back here. This is from tech.hindustan Times. Hindustan. The article is titled, "Your smartphone would soon be able to identify deepfakes even before they are made." What?
Oh,
How can you detect it before they're even made?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
And the article reads, "Deepfakes are one of the most critical problems being faced by the digital world. They not only spread mistrust, but they also help in expanding the outreach of fake news." The vocabulary is kind of funny because it's translated here, but now a new company has devised an ingenious method that can be used for identifying deepfakes right at the beginning. That is, when an individual is capturing images and videos for the same. TruePic.
Enter TruePic. You skipped the sentence.
Oh my gosh.
Enter TruePic.
TruePic has developed a technology that is embedded in a smartphone. This technology generates a digital signature of and cryptographically, I think is what they meant, sealed provenance information of the images and videos captured using the phone. This technology authenticates information such as 3D depth map, date and time, geolocation, time the image video was captured, and the time it was edited to determine if the image has been manipulated. The company has partnered with Qualcomm, and it has embedded its technology called TruePic Foresight technology in the company's Snapdragon 865 5G mobile platform, and it takes advantage of the chipset's underlying hardware security. The company says that its technology leverages the cutting-edge hardware security features of Snapdragon 865, including the secure hardware pipeline of the Qualcomm Spectra Camera 480 image signal processor, which is resistant to image data and operational control tampering. The company's technology provides a new secure capture mode in the device's native camera app. Engaging this mode and pressing the capture button produces a digital photo that contains cryptographically sealed provenance data, formatted in accordance with emergent open standards. The data allows a recipient to authenticate the pixels, date and time, geolocation, and 3D depth map that were securely acquired and sealed into the file at the time of capture. Quote, "This development paves the way for visual content consumers to determine the trustworthiness of photos and accurately discern authentic versus forged content," said Manvinder Singh, Vice President, Product Management of Qualcomm Technologies, said on the occasion. Notably, neither TruePic nor Qualcomm have revealed what all Snapdragon 865 powered smartphones will get this technology, and whether or not it will be
available.
I know, I can't. I need to make this bigger. Whoa, too big. Okay. Whether or not it will be available on smartphones powered by other Qualcomm processors. Ultimately, it will boil down on the smartphone makers if they want to use this technology on their smartphones. Whew, we made it through. So this is their first attempt at fighting the deepfake epidemic.
Okay. Does that not just sound like regular metadata of a photo?
It just sounds like metadata. Yeah.
So how is it
is all on metadata, but it sounds like it'll just have like, an extra little confirmation that it's not a deep fake, but I don't know exactly how that works. I mean, we're not the smartest guys in the world, but we're more up to date than most, I'd say, on how this kind of technology works. But yeah, this doesn't sound as exciting as they, I think, want the layperson to think it is. Well,
this assumes that every single picture that will ever be taken, it would only work after a certain point where, there's an influx of quote unquote natural unedited pictures to like flood the whole notion of pictures, or the whole market, not the market, but like all the existing pictures. Because at that point it's like, okay, these 10 trillion pictures all have this metadata proving its location, blah, 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 which by the way, you can't hack that. You can't change that information. But anyway, but let's just
certainly can
for the principle. Yeah.
There's apps you can get right now to manipulate for free on the App Store. You can get apps that manipulate metadata.
Right.
Metadata, unfortunately, is no longer a useful, truth-telling piece of information, which is especially funny because with all the Hunter Biden stuff coming out, there's all these people saying, the metadata, there's no metadata on the emails. Yeah, you can delete metadata. And if you're Hunter Biden and doing sketchy stuff, you're going to be deleting your metadata anyways.
Right. Yeah. So I don't see how this really helps fight deep fakes.
It's optics. It's all optics. Don't worry, folks. We will protect you from the evil deep fakes. And so you can know everything on your phone is not fake news.
They should just have an app that sticks googly eyes on everything. Oh, maybe they already have that.
If not, it's coming soon.
You've been Basilified.
Yes, thanks to Googly Eye Software Productions.
Yeah. Well, it's just something to keep track of with the whole deep fake thing, because we did read about a story a few weeks ago about how a company had, or I guess news agencies were receiving this technology that will detect deep fakes, and we were talking about how why don't they just give it to the people, not give it to news agencies so they can be the curators of truth when it comes to this
exactly
stuff. And so they're like, they listened to our argument on that, and they're like, good idea. Let's put out a product which is basically just metadata on photos and give it to the people. So this is a ruse. It's a scam.
A ruse.
A scam.
Yeah, the only thing in their list of metadata, they mentioned date and time, geolocation, time the image was captured, etc. Those are all things that are already in metadata. Every picture you take on your phone already has all that. The one thing I haven't seen before was this 3D depth map.
Yeah, I was going to say the depth map is the only thing that's new.
Yeah, I guess that if you're able to actually look at the depth map, that could tell you if something is a deep fake or not.
Or edited,
because if something's edited, the depth map will show it.
Mm-hmm.
So
pixels won't align.
But that's not even like new. That's not new technology. That's just, they're just saying that they're adding the 3D depth map to the metadata.
Ooh, better watch out, deep fakers. The Snapdragon is coming for you. Maybe that's why it's a Snapdragon and not like.
Have you heard of Snapdragon? Is this do we have these? What company makes these? Is that an Android phone?
Yeah, I think it's an Android thing.
Oh,
I thought they already had that in there, but I don't know. Anyway.
And don't worry though, Gons, it's on 5G. So
yeah, 5G Louise. Okay, next story here. We're gonna get right into this stuff here.
Oh, it's the New World Order. It's here.
This is IMF.org. This is the International Monetary Fund, a speech titled A New Bretton Woods Moment by Kristalina Georgieva, IMF Managing Director. And here's what it says. Introduction. What's up?
That's the International Monetary Fund.
What did I say?
You just said IMF, but I was just catching people up.
Oh, I thought I mentioned International Monetary Fund. Maybe not. But
Maybe
anyway,
you did. I wasn't listening.
Introduction, a sisterhood and brotherhood of humanity.
Oh my God. And
we can play the video, which basically outlines this whole document here. But I'll read a little bit, and then we don't have to get into every detail here. But some of the main points. I first want to thank Dr. Ernest Kwamina Addison for his excellent remarks and contributions as chairman of the IMF Board of Governors, reflecting on the dramatic change in the world over the last year. I paid a visit to the Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, where 44 men signed our Articles of Agreement in 1944. Our founders faced two massive tasks: to deal with the immediate devastation caused by the war, World War II, and to lay the foundation for a more peaceful and prosperous post-war world. Did it work, Basil?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Bretton Woods 1944 worked out? Okay. At the conclusion of the conference, John Maynard Keynes captured the significance of international cooperation as hope for the world. Quote, "If we can continue, the brotherhood of man will have become more than a phrase," he said. As we look forward to welcoming Andorra as our 190th member, the work of the IMF is testament to the values of cooperation and solidarity on which sisterhood and brotherhood of humanity is built. Today, we face a new Bretton Woods moment. A pandemic that has already cost more than 1 million lives. Maybe. An economic calamity that will make the world economy 4.4% smaller this year and strip an estimated 11 trillion of output by next year. An untold human desperation in the face of huge disruption and rising poverty for the first time in decades. Once again, we face two massive tasks: to fight the crisis of today and build a better tomorrow.
Ooh.
We know what action must be taken right now. A durable economic recovery is only possible if we beat the pandemic. Health measures must remain a priority. I urge you to support production and distribution of effective therapies and vaccines to ensure that all countries have access. I also urge you to continue support of for workers and businesses until a durable exit from the health crisis. This is such a ruse. We have seen global fiscal action of $12 trillion. Major central banks have expanded balance sheets by $7.5 trillion. These synchronized measures have prevented the destructive macro-financial feedback we saw in previous crises. But almost all countries are still hurting, especially emerging markets and developing economies. And while the global banking system entered the crisis with high capital and liquidity buffers, there is a weak tail of banks in many emerging markets. We must take measures to prevent the buildup of financial risks over the medium term. We face what I have called a long ascent for global economy, a climb that will be difficult, uneven, uncertain, and prone to setbacks. But it is a climb up, and we will have a chance to address some persistent problems: low productivity, slow growth, high inequality, a looming climate crisis. We can do better than build back the pre-pandemic world. We can build forward to a world that is more resilient, sustainable, and inclusive. And they have these imperatives here: the economic policies, the policies for the people, and part of the policies for the people, and then climate change for the third one. But she gets into quite a bit of the digitization of everything. This is part of the Great Reset. This is like the getting the digital dollar out there. The digital yuan is already unleashed in China, and this is the point, Basil, that we've kind of been looking at in terms of how are they going to do this? How are they going to reset everything, without just like allowing the debt to cancel or something? And I think this is a big move for the IMF to start saying, hey, we're going to digitize everything. We're going to create a digital economy. The young people like the digital, so we're going to do it. And this is part of the reason why we named the episode Build Back Better. She sort of says that we can do better than build back the pre-pandemic world. She kind of sneaks it in there. And if you're no agenda,
Build Back Better.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do better than build back. But build back better is a phrase that's been used by the Agenda 21, World Health Organization, UN Sustainable Development stuff, the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. And it's been used by world leaders all around. No Agenda has been tracking it. But also in recent months, Democrats have been using it. And I think Biden used it recently and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it was Biden's official slogan for a while, but I've noticed they've stopped pushing it. I think they noticed that the people were catching on.
Yeah, a little too obvious.
Yeah, it was like, for the past year or so for his I think they were using it even before the pandemic, although I would have to check on that. But it's been a long-standing, at least a year or so for Biden. But I think once people started noticing that, world leaders all over the world were using the term, he kind of backed off.
Yeah, especially when the accusations are like, he's a globalist. And it's like, no, I'm not. But then, but maybe he stole it. But, one thing to take a look at here, and I don't know if you've ever looked at this, Basil, but this is the debt clock, usdebtclock.org. Yeah. And it shows the U.S. national debt in real time. Yeah. And man, if I can just, get a little bit of that, just don't go to debt. Just have it go to the Canary Cry News Talk.
None of
Treasury.
It matters. None of it matters.
But it's crazy.
Fake. What are we at now? 27 trillion?
$27 trillion of U.S. national debt. That's $82,000 per citizen. That's $217,000 of debt per taxpayer. And U.S. federal spending is at $6.5 trillion. Yeah, it goes on. But this is ridiculous. This is out of control.
This is ridiculous.
This is out of control, the amount of money.
Yeah, but none of this money means anything to these people anymore. It's just kind of a scare tactic or some sort of spell or something. Well, because it used to be that this actually meant something and we could actually pay it back, make a dent in it. But that's like more money. I forget what the number was of like how much money actually exists in the world. And that's got to be getting pretty close.
There's a lot more when it comes to derivatives. There's like
yes, but you don't count derivatives.
Yeah, I think it's like 110 trillion or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But also, part of the digitization with the IMF saying like, hey, we're going to digitize everything, and a lot of the CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies that are going to unleash in different nations, this is going to devalue the dollar even more. This is an opportunity for all those countries to get out of the dollar, which is freaky for Americans because now the money is going to just, it's going to lose even more of its value.
Yeah. Do you know why that's not going to happen?
Why?
Because we have all the guns.
Sure.
Trust me.
I understand what you're saying.
Remember the last countries? Shall we list the last leaders throughout the world who tried to get away from the dollar as their backup currency or whatever it's called?
The reserve
Gaddafi,
currency.
Saddam Hussein. No. You try to get away from the dollar, there's suddenly an uptick of terrorist activity in your country, and the boys will come in and take care of that real quick.
Well, I get what you're saying, but also I don't see it as a difference, so to speak. If we're going to go to a digital dollar anyway, and everything's based on a digital.
Well, this is a good conversation. I don't think that the digital dollar will be counted against USD. I think digital dollar is going to be a totally new thing. It's not going to be measured against debts, especially national debts that are based in USD.
Yeah.
Digital dollar is not going to become you've got the petrodollar already. That's its own thing. It'll be like that. It'll be like the difference between USD and the petrodollar.
I've heard. Go ahead.
They are kind of dollars, and they're all, created by the United States, but they don't necessarily coincide. Mm-hmm. I said it right. They don't necessarily coincide.
Right.
They may move together in certain directions, but that's the problem with this digital dollar nonsense is, you're gonna, they're gonna use the digital dollar for all sorts of things. It'll be for COVID relief funds. It'll be for the UBI, the Universal Basic Income, that kind of stuff. And you'll have your digital dollar, but you'll also have your regular dollars as well. And the digital dollar will be respected, but it won't be as the USD will be like the gold and the digital dollar will be like the silver.
Yeah,
although that's a bad comparison to make in this conversation, but you get it.
Yeah. I've heard that because some people are saying, hey, we're going to go back to a gold standard. I don't see that happening. I know it's idealistic, but I just don't see it happening. But I've heard some people say that Trump is going to issue like a new bond, and that's what this digital dollar is going to be based off of, this new bond that he's going to create.
That makes sense. And they've talked about the $1 trillion coin.
Yeah. With Trump's face on it.
Yeah, they'll mint a $1 trillion coin, and then digital dollars will be guaranteed against that coin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's all funky, man. That's why we'll never go back to the gold standard, because we can't.
Yeah,
there would be no way. There's not enough gold to secure all the US dollars that exist now.
That was the whole problem. Well, unless the price of gold goes to, whatever, 100,000 an ounce or something.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Yeah, that's part of the issue here. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. And this is a big deal for the IMF to come out and say it's a new Bretton Woods moment, and to suggest that it's similar to post World War II economics. It's like, all
part of the Great Reset.
Yeah, part of the Great Reset, the Hegelian dialectic, problem reaction. Here's your solution. IMF coming in with a new Bretton Woods movement or moment, and we're gonna better build back.
Better build back.
Which
it'll be better than building back.
I pointed it out.
Build better.
I pointed it out on Twitter, and the reason why we have sixes instead of B's is that a lowercase BBB kind of does look like 666. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, though. We were talking about the number 666 popping up everywhere.
Yeah, it did scare me because I realized when I was reading the title of the show at the beginning of the show, Build Back Better with the 666. Then I said, I'm your best buddy, Basil. Uh-oh. Antichrist confirmed.
I can't deal with it right now, Basil.
Out of control, man. You just exposed yourself. I'm going to make a video. Basil exposed.
I know. I'm helping out the trolls and the Basil debunked videos. I'm doing the work for them.
Yeah.
How does it take him? Well, I shouldn't be helping you out with this. Come on, people. All right. Let's continue on with the show.
Let's keep going. We have
Cue the miserable, cue the desperate. What must I do to convince you people? You're right, Q.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Okie dokie. So the Hunter Biden saga continues. More and more information coming out, and more information being teased as well. Now, I will say this next section will have, this is just your disclaimer, your parental disclaimer. Nothing graphic or explicit, but it does deal with sensitive topics. So there you go. I'll give parents and sensitive listeners a second to make their choices. And I will be reading from Newsweek, who has been the progenitor of this story and the continuing saga of Hunter Biden here. But the title is From Child Porn on Hunter Biden's Laptop to QAnon Conspiracy Theories Pollute 2020 Elections Final Weeks. Okay, so we like to keep an eye. This is going to be a series of articles, but we like to keep an eye on how, people who explore the alternative narratives, not just gobbling down the main narrative, how they're being represented and talked about in the mainstream, because it's very helpful to know how people who might consider you an enemy, how exactly they are thinking of you, or what info they're working with. But this gets a little squirrely, so let's just jump into it. With just 15 days until the presidential election on November 3rd, conspiracy theories have played a major part in the campaign, and they are likely to stay on the radar as the 2020 contest nears its end. Yeah, right. That's the most optimistic sentence I've ever read. As President Donald Trump trails former Vice President Joe Biden in national polls, the Republican and some of his prominent allies have shared unfounded conspiracy theories about the Democrat. There have also been conspiracy theories aimed at Trump by some of his critics, especially following his positive test for coronavirus earlier this month. Here are some of the most prominent conspiracies in the run-up to the election. Child porn on Hunter Biden's laptop. The most recent conspiracy theory to hit headlines focuses on Hunter Biden, the former vice president's son, and what the New York Post described as smoking gun email on a laptop obtained by former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani. The conservative radio host Wayne Root claimed without evidence in a tweet shared tens of thousands of times that Hunter Biden's laptop contains video of him sexually abusing Chinese children. The email at the center of the story allegedly shows Hunter Biden arranging a meeting between his father and a member of the board of Burisma, Vadim Pozharsky. Burisma is a Ukrainian energy company. Biden's son was also a member of the board. The Post carried a photo of the email, but the contents of the laptop have not been seen by other news outlets. The Biden campaign said a review of the former vice president's schedule for that time period showed no such meeting took place. CBS News interviewed the owner of a Delaware computer repair store, John Paul McIsaac. Oh, I thought that was an L. Sorry, I thought the capital I was an L. But McIsaac, who reportedly gave the laptop to Giuliani. McIsaac said he was not able to confirm it was Hunter Biden who dropped off the laptop because he is legally blind. Whoa, that's a new twist in the story I've not heard yet.
Oh, I've heard that from the lefties. They were all saying that.
How
does he even know? He's a blind guy.
That's ableist, man.
I know,
Come on.
I know.
Good liberals can't be ableist.
Yeah.
CBS News reported on October 16th that McIsaac contradicted himself over the course of the 2-hour interview, and his answers raised, quote, even more questions about the veracity of how this supposed laptop became public.
Notice they don't mention the contradictions. They just say CBS News reported the contradictions, but not worthy enough apparently to mention what they were. But go ahead.
Yes. Senator Ron Johnson. I'm seeing people in the chat reacting to something I said. I didn't say anything wacky, did I? I don't think so. Senator Ron Johnson fueled speculation in an interview on Fox News on October 18th that there was child pornography on Hunter Biden's alleged laptop, though this appears to be contradicted by McIsaac's comments. The shop owner said he did not see child pornography on the computer.
He's blind. How would he see it? Sorry, go ahead.
It's very convenient that he's blind. Quote, I don't want to speculate other than to say I really think we're just scratching the surface, Johnson said. Quote, yes, I've heard all kinds of things that I think will probably be revealed over the next few days. There's a treasure trove of emails and video and pictures. Has Hunter Biden come out and said anything?
I don't think he said anything. And do you want to play this Fox clip here? Because the hostess here says something that I think... I saw on Reddit and stuff, but apparently this is what's going on
here. On Sunday Morning Futures, there is more to come, and there is further analysis of the subpoena's handwriting, and it suggests that the subpoena was served by an FBI agent who his name is Joshua Wilson, and over the last 5 years, he has been working on child pornography issues. Connect the dots. If an FBI agent is working on child pornography issues for 5 years, why is he subpoenaing the laptop of Hunter Biden? Is there a connection here? Should this suggest that there's a child pornography issue here on that laptop?
She's really excited.
She's yelling so loud.
This is Fox News, so you know this is big time. This is a big story for Fox. This is like this is like the P tapes for Fox.
Yeah, you're right.
Let me go on.
Laptop.
Well, I think you just made the connection. Again, this is what the FBI, I think, has to come clean about. This isn't a standard investigation where, if the FBI doesn't indict somebody, that everything remains confidential. This is something that, as we were talking about, relates to national security. And if there's criminal activity involved that could be tied to Hunter Biden or his business associates, or even possibly tied back to other members of the Biden family, and as some of these emails indicate, that Joe Biden was fully aware of this. He was taking his 10% cut or requiring 50% from his family member's salary. This needs to be known before Americans go to the polls.
So was the FBI agent who served the subpoena investigating child pornography, Senator?
Well, you just read the news report. I can't comment any further. I don't want to speculate other than to say that what I said publicly before, our report uncovered so many troubling connections, so many things that need to be investigated, that I really think we're just scratching the surface. And yes, I've heard all kinds of things that I think will probably be revealed over the next few days. There's a treasure trove of emails and video and pictures in not only the purported computer of Hunter Biden, but now we've got the co-conspirator, Bevan Cooney, that also starting to reveal information. I guess we're probably going to just find more information every day over the next couple of weeks.
So there you go. That's the report from Fox News anyway. And yeah, it seems to suggest that, the FBI agent who looks into CP was the one that subpoenaed the whole situation, the laptop and the whole deal.
Right.
So yeah, that interesting. Again, not totally confirmed, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what's going on here.
You know what would just shut this all down, Gons? If Hunter Biden just came out and denied something, then we could all just get on with our lives and would have to stop asking the tough questions.
Well, not only has Hunter Biden not come out and said anything, but I think from what I've heard, the Biden lawyers came and asked for the hard drives. Like right after this New York Post story, the New York Post story came out, and they're like, "Hey, can we have those hard drives?" And that's a horrible look. What a horrible look.
Yeah. Well, technically, they are legally. Well, I don't even know if they are yet. If there was going to be a case, if he was charged, if they charged Hunter in something, then the lawyers would be, required to have the evidence handed over.
Right.
Because you're allowed to see what evidence is being brought against you. But, of course, you got to think, well, if there have been no charges yet, I don't know. I mean, it's so sketchy. It's like top level issues that, of course, Biden could shut down and has been. And of course, you haven't had any almost anybody from the Democratic Party that I've seen even mention this, because the second that they deny it, then it makes it real. The second they say anything, then it makes it real. If they don't address it at all, then you can just call it a conspiracy theory. Right. Why would I even address a conspiracy theory? All right, let's continue.
Okay.
QAnon and the deep state. One of the most prominent conspiracy theories surrounding the president is QAnon. Those who ascribe to this theory believe there is an international cabal of satanic pedophiles and that Trump is secretly fighting against them. QAnon followers also believe there is a deep state working against the president. The movement originated on online message board 4chan. It's an image board, not a message board. Get it right, Newsweek. When an individual identifying themselves as Q claimed to be a government insider sharing information about what was secretly happening in the U.S. government and claiming prominent Democrats, such as former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, will be sent to Guantanamo Bay. The conspiracy theory is entirely baseless, but Trump has refused to formally denounce it. During an NBC town hall on October 15th, he was asked directly about the movement. Trump said he did not know much about but they're, quote, very much against pedophilia. Some QAnon believers welcomed the president's comments, with one prominent Twitter account saying he had given, quote, full and complete confirmation of the conspiracy theory. Last week, are you seeing this? Last week, not last.
Typo.
Come on, Newsweek.
Come on, Newsweek.
It's week,
last
like
week.
WEAK. Saw somebody in the chat mention that. It's a good one.
Newsweek. Last week, Senator Kelly Loeffler welcomed an endorsement from a QAnon-believing congressional candidate, Marjorie Taylor Greene, while more than 20 Republican candidates on the ballot this year have expressed support for the conspiracy. Taylor, this is another kind of, I don't know if it's quite NLP, but it is manipulative reporting. They say here, while more than 20 Republican candidates on the ballot this year have expressed support for the conspiracy. They don't support the conspiracy. they don't even, you can't even support a conspiracy theory. Evidence supports a conspiracy theory. You can say they have expressed interest or expressed I don't know, a belief in the conspiracy theory or the conspiracy, but and 20 candidates do not express support for satanic pedophiles.
Right.
Anyways, Taylor Greene, who's running in Georgia's 14th district, is almost certain to be elected. 17 Republican members of the House of Representatives voted against a resolution condemning QAnon on October 2nd. Joe Biden and Jeffrey Epstein. And now this is where things get squirrely. One recent conspiracy theory attempts to link Biden and convicted sex offender. He's cooked. Convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, who died in prison in 2019, posts on social media claimed Biden owned a private island near property once owned by Epstein. The conspiracy has been widely debunked, and there is no evidence Biden has ever owned an island. His brother James purchased an acre of land on Water Island in the U.S. Virgin Islands in 2005. Epstein's island home was on Little St. James in the same island group. The former VP has vacationed on a different part of Water Island in the past, but there is no evidence of property ownership. Analysis by Newsweek suggests the baseless claims can be traced to niche online communities, including QAnon. Niche online communities. It's like a boutique online community. The president's son, Donald Trump Jr., has shared posts on Instagram which insinuate that Biden is a pedophile. There's no credible evidence to support this allegation against Biden, as has been pointed out by PolitiFact.
Oh, PolitiFact.
Yeah, great. A nonprofit project by the Poynter Institute. Trump and COVID-19.
Hold on, before you go on. No evidence, especially, Biden being creepy with a whole bunch of people, kids on film, and
no evidence except for a bunch of videos and pictures of Biden being a complete creep.
Yeah. And talking about how, kids touched his hairy legs and he likes kids bouncing on his lap. Other than that, no evidence. But I do want to no biggie. I do want to touch on this real quick because this little rabbit trail was kind of interesting to me because this conspiracy theory has been widely debunked. That hyperlink goes to another Newsweek article here. Does Joe Biden own an island near Epstein's? Conspiracy theories spreads as election approaches. And it kind of goes over the same, basic info that was mentioned there. And here's what it says in the Newsweek article. Quote, this is not a quote, but this is a Newsweek article. There's no evidence that Biden claims are true. Fact-checking experts say the tale appears to have been distorted from a Politico article published in January 2020, which said Biden's younger brother James had purchased an acre of land on Water Island in 2005 before selling a third to a lobbyist with ties to the former Veep, Scott Green. Biden previously vacationed at a different part of the island, but nothing suggests ownership. And again, this is PolitiFact, and they mentioned Reuters and a couple other fact-checking places. But here's what's interesting, okay? Because, this kind of thing you can mention in conversations with normies and stuff, and they'll shoot it down. They'll say, no, it's not true, And you go to the Snopes here, and the Snopes article from August 13th is Joe Biden owned an island in the Caribbean. And they conclude false. But then they talk about how his brother James owned, a piece from Water Island or small property in Water Island. And so I was curious. Okay. I was like, all right, how far is this Water Island from Little St. James, which is where the Epstein stuff is? And so I went to Google Maps and I did a little measuring thing. 8 miles. 8 miles. Okay. So that's not that much. And I get it. The Caribbean, small island. So there's not a whole lot there anyway, but 8 miles. And the other part of this is the connection to, what's her name?
Was this the one that had the submarine?
Yes,
thing?
Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, so Ghislaine, this is a New York Times article from August 14th. Whatever happened to Ghislaine Maxwell's plan to save the oceans? And it talks about this story of how Ghislaine was speaking at the Council on Foreign Relations in Washington, D.C. She was there in her capacity as the founder of the Terra Mar Project, an ocean conservation group she started in 2012. And she mentions how she wanted to find she started, going on submarine trips and stuff underwater. And she started finding like remains, like human, what was it? Hold on, I put a highlight here. There was even a submarine put aboard Plan B. Plan B was the name of the yacht that Ted White, the tech billionaire who co-founded Gateway Inc., became Miss Maxwell's boyfriend after she broke up with Mr. Epstein. And on the Plan B yacht was a submarine. And there was even, and it says here, there was even a submarine put aboard Plan B that Miss Maxwell knew how to pilot. She began deep sea diving, which she said is how she had discovered human-made debris all over the ocean floor. And then what does it say here? 4 people remember Miss Maxwell talking of journeying to the center of the Pacific Ocean in an attempt to find, she said, Amelia Earhart's plane and body. Kind of interesting, talking about like she says human-based debris, or the article says human-based debris or human-made debris. But when I first read that, I was like, oh, whoa, like human debris? I was like, oh, no, human-made debris. But then she talks about, I'm going to find Amelia Earhart's body. Yeah, and it kind of made me think like, okay, is she finding other bodies down there? And this would be a very, very, very easy way to hide bodies as well. And if you know how to get in a submarine and just like toss out bodies you don't need anymore or whatever, plus you're on international waters, so technically you can't be tried by, particular nation. And there's a lot of like loophole type stuff that goes into this conspiracy theory. So I just wanted to share with you the Snopes article that, denies that Joe Biden ever owned this island, but confirms that his brother did, and that the island is only 8 miles from Epstein's little hub there. And that the article even mentions that Joe Biden had visited the Caribbean in the past. So, he doesn't have to necessarily own it, but he has family who owns it. And if you're buying any kind of real estate out there, you're probably talking to similar people. You're in the same elite circles at the very least. And then on top of it, add the Ghislaine Maxwell submarine thing. And an 8-mile submarine trip is probably not that difficult to do, between these 2 locations here. So anyway, just a little rabbit trail to go down. And again, the New York Times article talking about Ghislaine Maxwell's plan to save the oceans and her company Terra Mar. And again, because it's a lot of stuff that like conspiracy fringe people are peddling out there and coming to conclusions about. And it's one of those things where you don't have to come to a hard conclusion, but you can, kind of at least show the dots that people are connecting to suggest that people are coming, the reason why people are coming to that conclusion and how it ties to Joe Biden. So there you go.
Well, and that's part of the whole thing too, which is you don't necessarily have to debunk a conspiracy theory if you simply debunk an incorrect
the straw man
representation of it. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't really matter to the conspiracy theory if Biden himself owns the property or not. Biden's brother owning the property is fine. Like, it doesn't really matter if Biden owned it or not. If Biden's brother owned it and it's 8 miles from Epstein's island, and of course the extension of that theory is we all know the Epstein flight logs and all the names on the Epstein flight logs. There are names that you'd expect to be on the flight logs that are not. And the theory, again, I have no evidence to back this up, but the theory would be you could take a different plane or a boat to what is it called? Little Waters Island or something?
Water Island.
I forget. Yeah, Water Island, and then just take a little 8-mile submarine trip over to Epstein's Island, and boom, you can't be traced to the island.
Right.
But I do want to make a quick correction. I talked about at the beginning of the article how Newsweek was the one putting out the stories of the Hunter Biden emails. That's incorrect. It's the New York Post that put those out.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I don't even know if it's worth going through the rest of these. They go into Trump and COVID-19, debunking how he's not faking his illness, the conspiracy theory that he's faking it. Then they do go into the tech companies suppressing conservatives. But it's all kind of the same stuff. There's no evidence of this. Okay, if you say so.
Well, that's what it is. To say there's no evidence is lie. It's a blatant lie because there is evidence.
Yeah.
You don't have to come to the hard conclusions that people are peddling out there necessarily, but to suggest there's no evidence is flat out wrong.
This is
so there you go. Newsweek coming out trying to debunk all the conspiracies in one article. And
good job, Newsweek.
They didn't do a great job of it.
Weak sauce. Newsweek sauce.
But just more examples of how, quote unquote, debunking conspiracy theories at this point is just misrepresenting them and then saying that misrepresentation is false.
Now, before we get into a quick break here, because I know we're short on time, I was mentioning to you that I think Biden's going to have to step down, and you're like, nah, I think he's going to be able to get through the election.
He's not going to step down.
I don't know, man. It'll be interesting if he steps down.
No way, Jose. Why would he even step down? He doesn't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah, but then if it gets really bad, if really hard evidence comes out, it'll be I don't know. I can see it happening. The way everything's happening, the way Kamala kind of shut down. Oh, I got a coronavirus positive test. I'm going to shut down till next week. Whoa, right. Hey, lady, the election is in a couple weeks. Why are you shutting it all down? Kind of weird. But anyway,
because she knows she doesn't have to campaign.
What if she steps down?
Nobody's stepping down. That's crazy talk.
Okay.
Nobody's stepping down.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb. I don't mind if I'm wrong, but it's okay. It's just one of those fun things that we can a friendly bet. $1 bet. $1, Basil.
That's fine. I'll take that.
Okay. $1 bet.
That's the easiest dollar I've ever made.
Okay. Right.
Gonzo, you know what I want to do?
You want to look at some art? Is this what you're?
I want to look at some art.
Ooh.
Let's do it, please.
That's right, folks. We have producers and talented artists that are creating art based on the show, and we need to look at some of it and enjoy.
Yes. You want to go through these? You want me to go through them?
I want you to go through them.
Okay, so we have producers of the show. You are listeners, and but some are producers. And Basil always gives a spiel about producers, but I'll let him do that in a moment.
The spiel is waiting. We're going directly into art.
We're just going to start with the art here, change it up a little bit, a little left hook, and we have some great producers who send us awesome art, and we'd like to show them to you here. The first one comes from 88. And he is one of our prolific artists here. And this is, you want to go ahead and describe?
Yes, this was a funny one. So this was from last episode. I was trying to tell people to leave ratings and reviews because it's like mind control for the algorithms. And 88 jumped on it. And here we have there's me as a canary on the left. We got Gonz as a canary on the right. And we've got full-on MK Ultra hypnotized eyes, swirly eyes. I got a little speech bubble that says it's like mind control for algorithms. And we've got some monarch butterflies flittering around, representative of MK Ultra and Project Monarch or Monarch Project, whatever it's called. Let's see. And Gonz, you're holding a little brain that has a sad face on it. And it says, we need to ring Dr. Johnny Bananas.
Bananas.
Yes, which we'll talk more about later. And of course, we've got our computer monitor there that says CCIA. That's the Canary Cry Intelligence Agency.
Yes.
And as always, very good, 88. You're you've got a beautiful mind.
Wow, that's quite the compliment.
I know. This was a great one. And yes, it really is like mind control for algorithms, folks. That's why we need you to hit the like button and leave ratings and reviews. Very important. And once again, thank you, producer 88, for this beautiful piece.
And the CCIA there is the Canary Cry Intelligence Agency. So
yes,
yeah,
yes,
so we're part of the intel. Because we're not getting the checks from the Illuminati, we'll just make our own intelligence agency.
I know, man. There's a big industry now in open source intelligence. You can actually kind of start your own intelligence agency just based on open source intelligence.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, something to think about, folks.
It's an idea. Okay, the next one here is by Nathan. Nathan sent us a space pope reptilian. I love it.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, this one is great. I laughed so hard when I saw this come in here. Yes, as you know, you want to play the jingle, Guns?
Yeah, let me pull it up here. I have it.
Okay. Yeah, so Space Pope Reptilian, originally from Futurama clip there, but it's just a good reminder that the reptilian overlords are still in control in all facets of life here on Earth. And this beautiful rendition of the Space Pope Reptilian, it's a real dragon alligator looking guy. He's got his Dagon hat on that has a dead fish on it, so you know it's Dagon. He's holding a staff that has a floating UFO sort of built into the structure there. And he's got his papal robes, and he's
my favorite part.
So you know it's a space Pope Reptilian and not an Earth-based Pope Reptilian. Is he's wearing like a classic fishbowl space helmet, but there's nice little holes for his big gaw to come out, and he's got horns coming out the side. Really beautiful piece. This was Nathan, you said?
Yes,
Nathan. Has Nathan sent us anything before?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Some stuff.
All right. I'll have to go back and look at the rest of Nathan's pieces. But this is very funny and a great candidate for shirts over at the Canary Cry merch perch. We'll need to put the Canary Cry Radio logo or something on there so people know. But might have to put a title. Space. Sorry, play it.
Space Pope Reptilian.
There it is.
That's right. Very good, Nathan. Thank you. What's next,
Thank you, Nathan. Next one is from Yvonne. And this is the social media musical chairs. And you have 3 different chairs here: the truth chair, the politics chair, and the official narrative chair. And you have 3 people, each wearing a t-shirt. One's wearing a Twitter shirt, one's wearing a YouTube shirt, and one's wearing a Facebook shirt, and they're all just dancing around the musical chairs.
Yeah. And that's Jack Dorsey and Susan Wojcicki and Mark Zuckerberg.
That's right.
And let's see here. There was a great email that had some great explanation. I mean, not that we need explanation, but they put it well in the email. Social media CEOs, Jack Dorsey, Twitter, Susan Wojcicki, YouTube, and Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, playing musical chairs over what they find more important than the truth after the truth chair has been removed. What are they going to be about now since they removed truthers, so-called conspiracy theorists, people who question things? What gives them the right to, or what are their credentials to know what the truth is? Are they trying to protect the public from different aspects and viewpoints? Which chairs will they sit on? They were once just a platform. Now they seem very involved in deciding which content can be presented. And this is from prolific artist Yvonne. Thank you very much, Yvonne.
Very well done. Very well done. Yeah. There's Mark Zuckerberg saying this.
I am not capable of hatred.
He's not.
It's true.
Can't you see
Just
it
look
in
at
his
him.
face? Yeah, he's just very honest.
It's beautiful. Thank you very much, producer Yvonne.
Thank you, Yvonne. Speaking of Mark, we have another piece of art from Mark. I'm sorry to lump you in with Zuckerberg there, but
don't make that.
I'm going to do that because we made a joke about my hair. And that's getting a little long, and I'm getting my Tsoukalos hair. So he got, I guess it's like my face. Although I don't know.
It's an interesting blend of Gonz's face. Yes, it's a deep fake of Tsoukalos and Gonz with the hair. He's matched the hair. And it's in meme form, the classic Tsoukalos meme. He says, but it's Gonz. He'll say, I'm not saying it was the Nephilim, but it was the Nephilim. Classic Gonz.
Yeah, I don't know if this one I'm not going to show the wife. Because then she'll really she'll have nightmares, I don't need that from her.
Great Photoshop job.
Yeah,
though.
good job, Mark, producer Mark. And not to be outdone about my hair, apparently, is Allie, producer Allie, Gazzle and Bonds in the chat, and she has the hair off. The finals is what she said.
This is many levels.
It's so many levels.
So many levels to this one.
Yeah. So on the left is Dr. Johnny Bananas, and his hair are bananas.
Yes, his hair and his mustache and his goatee
and his tie,
are all bananas. I gotta say, I went looking for a picture of Dr. Johnny Bananas. I couldn't find one, but this is exactly what I pictured him looking like. It kind of looks like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. You put Shaggy from Scooby-Doo in a suit with bananas for hair.
I was more thinking Bob Marley with banana dreads.
Yeah, it's got a dread vibe for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's Gonz on the right there. Oh, and Dr. Johnny Bananas is saying, dude, that's some crazy hair. And on the right is Gonz. Gonz looking buff in this one. Very good. And he's got the Tsoukalos hair. Very well done. And he says, it's Tsoukalos. And down at the bottom, there's like some captions, some labels that says Dr. Johnny Bananas hair, bananas. Gonzo Shimura, hair, sucralose.
Yeah.
Very good, Allie.
Good job.
Oh, man. I'm glad Johnny Bananas made it to the art section of the show today.
Yeah, and it's actually, the caption for me is saying, I'm saying it's sucralose.
Yes, you're correcting
the label there.
Yeah, very good.
Very good job,
Thank you,
Allie.
producer Allie. She is Gazzle and Bonds in the chat and the youngest known producer of the show. Always glad to have your work.
Yes.
Anything else, Gonz?
That's it for the art. And I don't think we had any jingles.
No jingles, no music.
No cryptos, but we do have a couple more producers to thank here.
We do have some producers to thank. And if this is your first time listening to the show, stick around, because once we're done thanking the producers, we've got some more stories. We're going to be talking about the digital ID health pass system. We're a little tight on time, but we also have As the Days of Noah Wore, the Noah Cyris song that just came out. Beautiful song, but it's got some weird lyrics that are going to be important to take a look at. So stick around. But first, we want to thank some of our producers. And if you're new to the show, hey, what do you mean producers? This is a podcast. Isn't that just what 16-year-olds do to stream gaming and whatever? No, it is indeed a big project we do over here. And we've been doing it for a while, but this year has really given us the opportunity to step it up. And including in the stepping up process, we have switched over to the value for value model. What does that mean? That means we create as much value as we can. We do this show. We do it 3 times a week. We're pretty consistent, and we like to think we do a pretty good job. And when we, wow, I've totally thrown myself off here. I forgot what to say, and this is moment.
You don't commoditize the audience.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So when we create our value, we put it out there, and it gives you an opportunity to put value back into the show. We do not advertise. We've decided that is bad. Advertising, bad. And you should know it too. Advertising has taken over the internet. It's taken over the world. And it's also tied in with big data and snooping and all sorts of things like that. It incentivizes creators like Gonzo and I to consider our listeners not just as human beings, but as a commodity, as cattle to be put in a trailer and shipped off to a big corporation for our own personal gain. It's dehumanizing, not just for you, but also for us. It's just a bad way to go, folks. And so that's why we've decided to go on the value for value model. And if you get any value out of the show, you can become a producer, because this is a real world situation. If you help pay for a show or help create content for a piece of media, you're not just a charitable Christian. You're a producer of that piece of media. And so we want to thank some of our producers right now. And I'm going to start over on patreon.com/CCNT for Canary Cry News Talk. And here are our producers. Gonzo, you ready?
Yep.
First of all, we've got Cliff Lord. Producer Cliff Lord coming in on the Patreon. Thank you so much, producer Cliff Lord.
Thank you, Cliff Lord.
We've got producer Al coming in. Thank you very much. Producer Al in the house.
Al Capone?
Yes. The Al Capone.
The Al Capone?
Yes, it's a conspiracy theory we don't touch on very often, but he's alive and he loves the show. He's a producer. No, thank you, producer Al. Next, we have producer Bear the Cross. Thank you.
And Bear. Okay, yeah. All right, never mind.
Okay. Next,
Go ahead.
You got a thing?
I got a thing, but it wasn't a thing.
Okay. Next, we have a new producer Ruth. Thank you very much, producer Ruth.
Thank you, Ruth.
I've been losing control of my VR hand today. All right. So that's all the producers for the patreon.com/CCNT for Canary Cry News Talk. And that brings me to my next subject, which is CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
That's right. CanaryCryRadio.com/support is another great place to become a producer. If you don't like Patreon, that's okay. That's why we have CanaryCryRadio.com/support. We've got PayPal options. You can come in with a monthly producership. Not a whole lot of monthly producers coming in recently, but that's okay, because there you can also come in with a one-time producership in any amount. And that's for those producers who, are a little scared of commitment there. That's okay. So over there on PayPal, who do we got coming in, Gons?
We had Spears Desert come in at we'll mention the level here, $75.33.
Yes, the Trump tax mixed with the 33 producership. Thank you, producer Spears Desert.
Spears Desert, thank you. And we also had producer Brandon.
Producer Brandon.
He is the executive producer of the show.
He is the executive producer. Thank you very much, producer Brandon. I missed that one. That's a nice little surprise.
Yeah.
Thank you, executive producer Brandon.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And again, you can always send your talent to CanaryCryRadio@gmail.com. If you have art, if you have jingles, music, we all want to hear it. We want to see it. And
that's right. A lot of opportunities, not just to produce with your finances, your treasure, but also to produce with your talents, whether you're a musician or a sound editor or an artist or whatever. We even had somebody send in a picture of a Lego sculpture they made of Flippy one time. So really, wherever your talents lie, you can help produce the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And a quick thank you to That Night Wind, as she continues to drop timestamps for us for the YouTube channel here. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very important.
Canary Cry merch perch is something to go check out from producer Dust. And I'm going to pull it up here so people can take a... Oops, I think I typed it wrong. And I put it in the chat. Yeah, ignore that last one there. But here you go. And it's a good place to get some merchandise. All being done by you, the producer, or producer Dust anyway. And it's all, stuff that pertains to the show. And it's a community effort here. It's not us trying to make something and sell stuff. This is all done by the community.
Yes, and the Canary Cry merch perch, all merch is sold at cost, and you have an opportunity to tip the webmaster, tip the artist, or tip Gonz and myself. So it's a real community effort, and it's a affordable merch opportunity for people.
Yeah,
it's a real family business around here.
Yes.
All right, Gonz, before we jump in, I want to read one email.
Okay.
Because last show we were talking about how tobacco was being used in the coronavirus vaccine.
Right.
And I connected that to, we heard about this with Ebola as well, where tobacco, I remember specifically reading nicotine, but for the case of this, we'll talk about tobacco.
It was tobacco. It was tobacco. It was not nicotine. Go ahead.
Okay. And, here's the thing. And I made a call out because I knew these people exist. A lot of people, a lot of professionals and very experienced and, hardworking people listen to this show. And that includes all sorts of things. I have another email from another maritime safety advisor. I'm going to save that for next show. Thank you for the email. But I wanted to read this email in response to my questions about what in the world tobacco has to do with vaccines. And here we go. You are wondering about why tobacco keeps coming up in vaccines. I'm reading the email now. Here's my input as a PhD microbiologist with 25 plus years of professional experience. It is actually pretty simple. Due to all the money that cigarette companies poured into studying the tobacco plant over the last 100 years, mostly in order for them to maximize tobacco production and minimize losses to pests, etc., it is one of the most widely studied plants in the world. One of the main things that has come from all the research is ways to effectively genetically manipulate tobacco plants and to propagate it in the lab. Again, initially done to make the tobacco production more efficient, drought and disease resistant, etc. There was huge amounts of money to be made, even with small advances. This knowledge has now been used to make tobacco a workhorse plant factory for producing a range of small molecules, enzymes, nucleic acids, etc. It is a lot like how they have genetically modified goats to produce spider milk protein in their milk, or cows to make insulin for people with diabetes in their milk. Using engineered tobacco plants can be mass produced and more cheaply grown than animals, plus it doesn't trigger PETA folks, and the processing to recover the enzyme or other product is usually simple. So it is not something extra special about tobacco per se, at least not to my knowledge. And of course, it is not about smoking or otherwise consuming tobacco. Hope that clears it up a bit. A great example of man harnessing nature for the greater good, regardless of what you think of vaccines. Blessings. And this is from Mark, producer Mark. I don't know if it's the producer Mark. Maybe it is. But this is another producer Mark. So thank you very much. Is it the producer Mark?
So. Yeah, I think I was looking at the email.
Cool.
Yeah.
So there you go. That actually makes way more sense than any ideas that I had. The fact that, of course, more money would have been put into studying tobacco than any other plant in the world, maybe aside from now money going into study marijuana or something.
Right.
But I guess you can just turn tobacco, or you can genetically manipulate tobacco to create, tiny little molecules within the plant that you can then use for manufacturing all sorts of things.
Yeah, it was very good. I was very not impressed, but I don't know, just thankful.
Well, I was impressed.
I was just thankful for the note. People that have a lot more experience hands-on with their profession, giving us insight rather than us just like speculating on what's going on with certain things. So,
and I've got another email I'm going to read next show just for sake of time today from another producer with some very interesting information that I think everybody will find valuable.
Very cool. I know you're short on time, Basil. Do you want to skip one of these and go straight to the...
Yeah, let's just go to the Noah thing. I hate to cut the show short, but that's what we got to do today.
Yeah, we got to do it today. Okay, so let me play the jingle to get us into this final story here.
But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Yes, and this is a story from cheatsheet.com. Miley Cyrus and Noah Cyris's voice are eerily similar in rare joint performance, but that's not the real story. The story is about Noah Cyris, and I guess last night there was a performance on MTV, or a couple nights ago maybe, where they sang "I Got So High That I Saw Jesus," and it's on an album by Noah called "The End of Everything."
Yeah, and just for context, for those who might not have it, you've heard of Miley Cyrus, you've heard of Billy Ray Cyrus, his daughter Miley Cyrus.
Don't break my heart.
And her sister is named Noah Cyris, and recently she's been hitting the charts. She's been working on her own musical career, and she wrote a song called "I Got So High That I Saw Jesus," and it's a beautiful song, but it's got some very interesting lyrics.
Yes, and I'm scrolling through the video here, which was actually published back in March. March 20th was when the music video was published, and it's got 3.5 million views. And a couple of the lyrics that are interesting here. Okay, so... yeah, they talk about the rivers running dry, how pretty soon there won't be any water left, sounds like climate change, to turn to wine, like a drunkard at the wedding, blindly raising Armageddon, so I'm getting high. Interesting. I got so high. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, you've got Armageddon in there, you've got climate change, you've got Jesus, no water left to turn to wine.
Right. And the chorus here, "I got so high that I saw Jesus. He said it's all going to be okay. You just need me in your heart. Tennessee whiskey and love. I got so high that I saw Jesus, Jesus." And this is the line that was very interesting. "Yeah, Joseph lost his job to a machine. And Mary lost her mind to lines of code you can't see. And if the angels or the AI are going to burn this whole thing down, well, I'm going to burn one down right now."
A lot of references there. You've got Joseph. You've got Joseph losing his job to a machine. So you've, of course, got the Flippy update there. You've got Mary, who
lost her mind.
Lost her mind.
You can't see.
To lines of code you can't see. So you've got maybe some social media or maybe some gaming or something in there. Just all the
social engineering, maybe.
Yeah, social engineering. And then lastly, if talking about angels and or the AI burning things down.
Well, I'm going to burn one down right now. I guess she's talking about...
yes, and then she gets high again. So, Noah, I don't know if you listen to the show or not. Your lyrics sound like you might be a listener of the show. Just reach out. Just reach out. We can we'll give you some more lyrics, some more crazy things to put into the song. But and one thing I noticed about the song, Gons, was it kind of sounds like a worship song. It's got a similar vibe and chord structure to like your classic sort of current worship song. There's some familiar sort of beds and harmonies that, it sounds like it's almost like a Hillsong worship song or something.
Right.
which of course,
the structure of a Hillsong song is a very popular,
very specific and very popular, right?
Yeah. So what do you want to do? Are you trying to reach out to Noah to find out if she's woke?
No, I'm just inviting if she listens to the show. I mean, it sounds like she's singing about a lot of stuff we talk about. And it would be interesting to know if she got any inspiration. Noah, if you're listening, or really anybody from the Cyris family, go ahead. Send us an email.
Noah Cyris is 20 years old. So not even drinking age, but she's singing about Tennessee whiskey.
Well, yeah. I
guess it depends on what state you're in.
It's so hard to conceive of somebody under 21 partaking in such an activity, Gons.
Yeah, I know. I'm being an old grumpy man is what I'm being.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. I apologize that I have to cut the show a little bit early today, but that's what we got to do. We got lives. We got lives to save, lives to live, and unfortunately scheduling issues that we have to do. So I want to thank everybody for listening to this show. Gons, anything you want to go out on today?
Well, are we, you had that hashtag. I don't know if you want to actually do that hashtag or not, but
yeah, well, I mean, we might as well, we can throw it out there. It's hashtag in the days of Noah. And instead of days,
in the days.
Oh, what do I have written down there?
As in the days of Noah.
As in the days of Noah, but days, D-A-Z-E.
Oh.
Hashtag as in the days of Noah, because Noah's, getting so high she sees Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm mentioning this, but it's just something Gons and I thought about when we were exploring this. Maybe it can get Noah's attention.
And I know what this is all about.
What is this about?
Pharmakia. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Here's the thing. Remember, we will be back on Wednesday, the 21st of October. Man, October's flying by. Yeah. Wednesday, October 21st, sometime between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to put it on your schedule. Turn on notifications. Make sure to follow us on multiple outlets so you don't miss the notification when we go live. And we will see you there. Make sure to leave ratings and reviews. It's very important. We need to, it's like mind control for the algorithms. If we get enough ratings and reviews coming in on a daily or weekly basis, then it convinces the algorithms that we're doing a show worthy of sharing with people that have never heard of the show before. So please, here's what you do. Bing it or Google or DuckDuckGo, whatever your search bar of choice, start page, Ask Jeeves. You can go ahead and search Apple Podcasts, Canary Cry News Talk. Just search Apple Podcasts, Canary Cry News Talk, and that'll take you to where you need to go to leave us a rating and a review. Very helpful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, remember, you can also become a producer, not just by financially supporting us at patreon.com/CCNT, patreon.com/CCNT. You can also support us at CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
That's right. CanaryCryRadio.com/support. We got PayPal options where, remember, we're going to need some producers for Wednesday's show. So please consider if you've been rattling around the idea of supporting the show, let this be your week. Wednesday, the 21st, sometime between noon and 3, we'll be doing another show and thanking you brand new producers. You can also help produce the show by creating content that's art, Space Pope Reptilian, or whatever you want to do. Pick something related to the show, and if you can express it in the beautiful visual arts You can send that to CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
No.
That's wrong. Send that to CanaryCryRadio@gmail.com. And we'll have another art exhibit on the next show. Now, if you are a musician or you have the ability to edit sound in one way or another, you can also create jingles for the show or create songs. We'll be playing the Canary Cry mixtape at the end of the show. You don't want to miss that, folks. Stick around. The chat gets rowdy during the mixtape. But if you're a creative person, make something show related, send it in. We'll put you on the show. And you are a producer. That's right, because you're helping the show get made. We can't do it without you. Okay. Lastly, here's the thing, folks. You can help out the show by sharing it with your friends and family that are starting to wake up to realize that the world is not what it seems. I know, it's crazy. Some people are starting to wake up all on their own. And if you know one of them, send them a show. Send them this episode. Send them a different episode. Whatever you think will speak to them. You can also share it on your social medias there. Whatever you can do to help spread the word. We are happy to aid those people starting to wake up down there, that narrow path of truth that we are all on. So there you go. And if you need any other instructions, here's what you do. You just walk right up to them, you grab them by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
Aliens.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! Don't ever silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy.
Leave the bird alone.
Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah
Cyris.
That's right, folks. Just ask Noah. Now make sure to use the hashtag as in the days of Noah and tweet at me. You can follow me on Twitter at Basil_Rosewater. Follow me now. All sorts of good. If you're looking for a way to fight off the robots when the robot revolution begins, you're going to want to follow my Twitter account and make sure to hashtag as in the days of Noah. All right, folks. Again, we'll be back on Wednesday, October 21st, sometime between news. Oh my gosh. Sometime between noon and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I can't wait. I can't wait for it. I can't wait to talk to y'all again. Gonz, any last words?
You're going down, Olstein.
Still on that mission.
The crusade
on that grind.
Continues. Maybe Noah could help us out with that.
She would.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
Stop this progress before it is too late.
Demonic power. Look it up.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
I want to shake things up, shake things up. Last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.
Fun fact, I believe it was another fun fact. Fun fact. Another fun fact.
Brings me back to my Screamo days.
Pot, that's where I started.
Light up a huge blunt.
A joint.
Give everybody
magic mushrooms.
Smoke. The CIA, I mean, lots of intelligence agencies have tested secretly dosing communities. LSD.
Psychoactive pills should be covertly administered. Just put me on some, I don't know.
Give you a shot in the butt. Fluoride.
Oxytocin.
Get a chemical hug.
I did dabble, some of that robot crack. I know what it's like.
It's a lethal recipe for disaster. You need help.
If you're a pharmacist, you need to repent.
All right, weird.
In the future, humans will be confined in a people's zoo.
People, I'll keep you safe and warm in my people's zoo. I'll keep you safe and warm now in my people's zoo. You and you in my people's zoo. I'll keep the cameras on. Now my people's zoo.